Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week I've got something brand new to show you, and I'm going to be doing it on this pine settle behind me. Yes, that's right, brand new. So I can reveal that Dixie Belle Paint are releasing some brand new shades in their Silk Mineral Paint line. You know how much I love this paint. It's absolutely stunning. The particular colour that I'm going to use today is Highlands, but I will be swatching all of the colours for you later on in this video so that you can see all of them. So stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get on with painting this. So lots of pine pieces that I pick up in the UK are waxed, and that isn't a problem at all, but that wax does have to be removed before you use a paint. The way to tell if something's waxed or not is to just run your fingernail over the top of the piece, and if you get a build-up of product underneath your nail, that's wax. Varnish won't scrape off with your nail, but wax will. So this has got to be removed. I've already done a video of me removing wax on my channel from quite some time ago. Noisy aeroplane in the background, thank you. So I'm not going to repeat myself again. What I will do is I'll link the video now if you want to go and have a look at how I remove wax off furniture before painting. So what I'm going to do is strip the wax off this, and then I'll come back once that's done. So that's been stripped off, and we are now back to raw pine. But just before we start to put paint on, there's a couple of things that I do to pine that is a good idea to do. I don't like saying you must do this before you paint pine, because that's not what this channel's about. But these are things that I've picked up over the 8 or 9 years or so of painting furniture. I started out with very little knowledge, and over the years I've gained more and more knowledge, and now I'm hopefully passing that on and helping some other people. So pine is a soft wood. It also has knots in it. These are the knots. They're sometimes small, they're sometimes big, and knots have got resin in them, and it's the resin that can seep through into your paint and cause discoloration, which is what we call bleed through. So you'll hear me referring to that all the time, and bleed through is just basically the resins or the tannins in the wood seeping through and causing discoloration to your paint finish. Now, the reason knots are particularly bad is because that discoloration might not necessarily happen straight away because of the resin content within those knots. They hold on to quite a lot of resin, and that can seep through straight away, or sometimes it can take a good few weeks or even longer before they start to show, and they will start to show as little rings or patches, maybe sort of yellowy browny colour, sometimes a different colour. But my point being is they don't always show up straight away. So just because you painted something and it hasn't leaked or seeped through or had bleed through straight away doesn't mean that it's not going to do it 6 months down the line. And if you're selling painted furniture, the last thing you want is somebody to contact you and say, I've now got brown marks appearing all over my furniture. So the product that gets rid of this, and it's a very small and specific product, is called knotting solution. So this goes over the knots only. Obviously I'm not going to put this over the entire thing because we'd need quite a few of these little tubs. And you get a brush in the lid, a little bit like nail polish, and all you need to do is find all your knots in your pine and just paint it over. I like to slightly overlap it a little bit, so you'll notice that knot's quite small, and I just take it slightly over the knot just to reduce any risk of that knot kind of seeping through. So I just need to go over the entire thing where all the knots are and just put one coat. This stuff dries pretty quickly, so once I finish this I'll probably leave it about half an hour just to be on the safe side. But this particular one that I'm using is a shellac based product, so that's why it's got its own brush, because cleanup can be a little bit pesky with things like that. So it's not a water based product, and it's very effective. You only need a tiny little bit, but that will lock any stains from being, you know, seeping through into the paint. That'll lock those stains into the wood. They won't be able to seep through and cause you any problems in the future. Just wait for the peacock to finish shouting. If any time you do hear like shrieking noises in the background of any of my videos, by the way, that is peacocks in the background. That's not like a child or any kind of animal in distress. We have peacocks that live in the village, wild, and they go up and down the bottom of my garden and make quite a loud shrieking noise. Anyway, back to the furniture. So this has been on, the Knotted Solution's been on for about an hour-ish. I had to do some video editing, weirdly on a video that's you've probably already seen. That's weird. Anyway, this has been on for an hour. Next step is priming. Now I know what you're thinking. Silk mineral paint has got a built-in primer. Why do you need to prime? So the built-in primer in silk is for stain blocking properties. It's equivalent to doing one coat of this. So the stain blocking properties within the paint are pretty good. I have high confidence in it because I've used it plenty of times on pieces that I haven't primed. I even helped launch silk paint in the UK because we had it here in the UK before anybody else could get their hands on it. So I was lucky to be a part of that. I've painted hundreds of pieces in silk, mostly unprimed pieces. However, this is raw pine. This is also very dry, and what can happen is when you paint directly onto raw wood, it can kind of suck all the moisture out your paint, dry down super quick, you get patchiness, and you can sometimes tell. So for raw wood pine pieces, or raw wood in general, especially if I'm going for a one colour finish like this, I'm not doing anything fancy, there's no decoupage, there's no stenciling, there's no kind of dark wax or any kind of thing like that. For those kind of pieces, I will prime, just because I feel like it gives you a better finish than if you were to just go straight ahead and put your paint over raw wood. One thing before I start priming, this is the brush that I'm going to use to apply the primer. A lot of people freak out when they see me using my really good brushes to apply the primer instead of a chip brush, because they think that you're going to wreck your brush to apply a primer, which is actually not the case. If you're going to use a decent brush like these, this is a Dixie Belle synthetic mini brush. Mini because the handle is short and diddy. I just love these brushes. This is my favourite brush of all time. But if you are going to use a decent brush to apply this primer, just make sure you wash it straight away. Don't put it in a bag and leave it for the second coat. Wash your brush straight away. Use scrubby soap so you get all the primer out the bristles, and you'll be absolutely fine. As always, I'm going to link every single product that I've used in the description below this video. And they are affiliate links, which means if you click on them and make a purchase, I earn a small commission. It won't cost you a penny more, but it just is a way of helping me get paid as a small content creator to give you free educational content like this video. So I'm just going to apply 2 coats of this primer all over, nice and smooth. You can see it's going on an absolute charm. And then what you want to do once you've applied your second coat is leave it 24 hours for it to completely dry before you apply your paint. So as promised, I'm going to swatch all 7 new shades for you on this bit of scrapboard that I've got here so that you can see them individually and as the collection. So we've got a couple of whites to start off with. The first white is called Chantilly, and it's a soft, warm off-white with subtle beige undertones. The second white is called Elderflower, and it's a warm, creamy white. French Villa is the third shade you can see me applying, which is a soft, warm greige, a really good neutral. Truffle is the next colour. I love this shade. It's a deep, earthy brown. The next colour that I've got is Wicklow Glen, which is a soft muted sage green. The next shade that I've got is Highlands, which is a soft muted olive green. And the final shade is Oxford Fog, which is a chameleon earthy warm blue green. So they're the official descriptions of each colour, and you can see them here. I've just overlaid them with a little bit of text to give you the colour name, which you are more than welcome to screen grab and keep for your reference. So these colours are very kind of country neutral, bright and breezy. Think like cottage, farmhouse, that kind of vibe. This colour is significantly lighter than the other greens that are already in the silk collection. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I will be swatching those colours over there on those platforms, just so you can see the comparison from the colours that already exist in the range. But I'm just going to apply 2 coats of this with a synthetic brush again. The beautiful thing about this paint, I mean, the fact that it's got a built-in primer is amazing, but the beautiful thing for me with this paint is that it has a built-in top coat, and it's very durable. It gives you a similar sheen to eggshell. What I like to do is work in small areas, and then once I finish with that area, just go over with my paintbrush really lightly and lay off that particular area. That gives you a really good, flawless finish. So here's a few close-ups of the finished look. A reminder that this is called Highlands, brand new shade from Silk Mineral Paint, and here's the final piece. As always, thank you for watching the video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you next time. Bye!